boardwalk. We'll be having some fun under the boardwalk.
Welcome back to Breakfast with Bob. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're at Challenge Atlantic City. The inaugural event will be taken off tomorrow morning, and they also are doing a new challenge, St. Andrews, coming up, and Scott Bevington, the race director, is joining us. How you doing, Scott?
I'm very good, Bob. Nice to be here.
Thanks so much for taking time and coming on, especially you got a race coming up next weekend.
We do. It's getting down to crunch time for sure, so yeah.
So, but your whole festival, it's basically Try St. Andrews. Everything starts Thursday, and go through what you've got coming up next week.
Sure. The expo is actually Friday and Saturday next weekend. And then we have a whole bunch of different running events and sprint triathlon on Saturday. The running events actually run across the Bay of Fundy at low tide. So there's a race called Beat the Tide.
Beat the Tide.
So
if you run too slow, you drown.
You run too slow, you're stuck on an island until the next day. But
anybody ever had that?
No, not so far. So.
I love that.
So yeah, we've got that. We've got sprint try on Saturday as well, called Try St. Andrews, and then Challenge St. Andrews is the marquee event on Sunday.
So how did all this start?
It kind of started, to be honest with you, we wanted to do something a little bit different with a festival style of weekend. And right around that time, Challenge was coming into Canada with Challenge Penticton.
Right.
And we just went out on a limb and contacted Challenge directly and kind of gave them the idea of what we were doing on the East Coast and kind of what we saw some potential with Challenge a few weeks before Penticton, and it kind of went from there pretty quickly.
So has the Challenge brand been helpful for you up at in St. Andrews?
It has. I mean, we've worked really closely with Vigo and Delmo here in Atlantic City. To be honest, that's probably the closest relationship we have. We've learned as much as we can from both of them. I'm the race manager, and we have race director Garth Miller, and he's been talking to the guys and just really trying to learn as much as we can for next week. So it's been tremendous.
And Timothy O'Donnell and Marinda Carfrae, two of the legends of our sport, are coming from here where they're doing a relay. And your event is a half.
It is, yeah. We're just absolutely floored that they're racing. It's been something that we're really excited about. So I'm actually putting their bikes in a truck with all the branding kit and heading back to St. Andrews.
That way, they don't have to slip. They don't have to ship them anywhere. I love that.
Yeah. So we're really excited to have them racing next weekend, and the races are going to be something to watch for sure.
And in terms of the Challenge brand, was your first exposure in Penticton, or did you go to Germany and see Roth?
I haven't been to Roth yet.
Okay.
It's funny, a couple of years ago I was running in Penticton before it was a challenge race, and I was doing the race myself, and we were chatting about the Challenge brand. It was a friend of mine that I hadn't seen in years, and he had just done Roth, and we were just talking away. And it's just timely because then the next year they made the announcement that Penticton was going to go to Challenge. So we were excited about it coming to Canada, and it's been fabulous. So this is a big year for us.
So you look at Canada and the legacy of Canadian athletes, from Peter Reid to Laurie Bowden to Heather Fjord to the Puntos twins.
Absolutely.
You've had just amazing, and Simon Whitfield, obviously, not just Ironman distance, but in short distance as well.
For sure.
So, and Carol Montgomery. Is the sport growing in Canada?
I think it is. I mean, especially with women's tries, and our youth events seem to really be growing. So I think we're following the general trend in North America. But we have a women's race that our race director for Challenge puts on last month, and we had awesome numbers. So it shows me that there's definitely an interest in the sport, and so I do think that you're going to see growth over the next couple of years for sure.
And the Thursday you start, is that with an evening run of some sort?
No, Thursday is kind of some actually Wednesday. We have our volunteer party.
Okay.
So we have a volunteer appreciation and some things like that. It's our title sponsor is Kingsbury Garden, and it's this beautiful award-winning garden in St. Andrews.
Yeah.
So they're doing an event for the volunteers, and then we have some VIP events and things like that on Thursday, and then everything opens up with the expo on Friday morning.
And how many participants total for the weekend?
There's about 1,000 for the whole weekend with the runs and the sprint try, and then about 400 in Challenge. So that's really where we wanted to be this year. We were hoping to get, it's a destination race in a smaller area, so we really hope to get 300 or 400 in the Challenge race, which for us is really fantastic. So we're quite happy.
And when you're looking at putting on a race, people put on one race. That's tough on staff. When you start doing stuff where you're, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, how hard is it to keep the staff going?
It's been actually, because it's a small community and it's a new sport, everyone's really excited. And I think sometimes the smaller The smaller communities have an easier time of getting volunteers just because we're kind of the only event in town that weekend.
Exactly.
And so yeah, it's actually been really good, and we're seeing a growth in participation and whatnot as well with a lot of new triathletes. So it's been great.
And the city of St. Andrews.
Yes.
They're excited about
really
having this
excited.
event.
Yeah, very excited. And again, the volunteers have been spectacular, more than what we could have wished for. So yeah, it's been great.
Is St. Andrews a destination type community where there's a fair number of hotels and you want people to come and because I always feel that the triathlon does really well off Broadway when you can where when you come to that town you feel special when you're wearing your challenge wristband. Everybody in town knows you're doing the race.
Absolutely. We have a resort in town called the Algonquin Resort, and it's a Marriott Autograph Resort, and that's where kind of everything takes place is around the resort itself. So we have a lot of rooms available, and it is a tourist destination, so there's a lot of other hotels and motels and bed and breakfasts and campgrounds and all that. So small community, but with lots of accommodations. So yeah, we're lucky that way. Yeah.
Well, good luck next week, man. Your clock is ticking.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. We have Simon Whitfield arriving on Wednesday. He's spending the whole weekend with us.
Oh, is Simon going to be participating, or is he going to be your spokesperson?
He's kind of the spokesperson. He's doing the kids' race. He's bringing his 2 daughters, and they're going to be around, and his mom. And we have a whole bunch of fantastic athletes there. We have Sharon Donnelly, the former U.S. Olympic coach, is going to be there with her company iFloat, and just lots of different. Karen Smyers is racing.
Karen Smyers is racing. In which one?
She's doing the full. She's doing the challenge.
Oh, she is.
Yeah. So and she's doing a camp as well. So yeah, it's honestly it's quite something for this year. We're really pleased.
One of the few people to win the IT World Championship and the Ironman Championship in the same year.
Yeah, she's one of my heroes in the sport. So it's going to be pretty cool for sure.
Very special. Well, Scott, congrats on everything you're doing.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me. Thanks very much.
No problem. No problem. Again, that is Try St. Andrews, a full-on festival along with Challenge St. Andrews. Scott Bevington has been our guest. Again, this is Breakfast with Bob on triathlete.com. Hold on. We'll be right back.
People walking above under the boardwalk. We'll be falling in love under the boardwalk.